Right. Good afternoon, heroes and heroines, and welcome to Practising Programming in C, where we're just finishing getting ourselves prepared to stream. The mic's coming through, the webcam's on, the desktop is visible, the headphones are on. The music isn't playing quite yet. The music isn't playing. Let's just see what we've got by way of sort of anniversaries. Yeah, there's nothing more today, nothing more tomorrow. So we kind of need to pick a bit of music. Well, I've got Emperor Tomato Ketchup coming up next month. We can let that come around in its own time. About Spoon, yeah, that's coming up as well. St. Vincent, got anything of hers that's not too nearby? Let's put Marry Me on. I'll give it an hour and 9. The stream will almost definitely be longer than that. Daydream Nation. Oh, it's not in nice quality. I really need to upgrade that at some point. Spiderland is next month. Sleaford Mods, a couple of those next month. Go on, let's go for a bit of Sleaford's. An hour and 47. Oh, we could put some Kate Bush on, can't we? You know, she's always good, and her albums tend to be released later in the year, so we're not going to be kind of preempting an anniversary. Let's go Hands of Love. 2.5 hours, that should give us enough. So, here we go. What we're doing is we're mocking up our multi-threaded system. So let me just try and remember where we actually are. No. We're writing the client in. We're writing the code in this window. I think we need. Well, I think we can just use the one window actually. Can't we? Oh no, because that's the client. Sorry. Yeah, right. Oh, yeah, we do sort of need another window, just so we can sort of exercise the actual program. So yeah, that's the file system event handling part. The other part we do. Oh yeah, right. So it's the client, isn't it? So if we are to run, if we go back here and then run this, we receive the dump instruction coming through. So yeah, the dump instruction, receive the dump instruction. So those are the 2 bits that we've got so far. It's the same program that is watching for file system events and is also watching for. It's waiting for an instruction, basically, from a client. So today, what I'm going to do, first of all, is to just do the user interface function. I suppose, yeah, I'll just kind of like show what I'm sort of working towards. It's this, basically. It's what we're starting with. It's basically Cinera and the reference manager and the user interface. So we're sort of doing this on 3 separate threads, just for starters. Now, the thing about the user interface bit is that we're already sort of seeing stuff happening here. We're seeing output coming out here. And it's pretty clear already that we're going to need an actual dedicated sort of rendering thread, or sort of basically a thread that handles all the stuff to do with kind of compositing the various bits of information that it needs to output or whatever, rather than having individual threads sort of telling us what they're doing individually. I mean, this would probably be fine actually, doing it with each thread outputting their own information, if all we were doing was appending to the bottom of the screen. But I sort of think that isn't going to be the eventual thing. So yeah, like I say, we're going to probably need an actual dedicated thing that handles the drawing to the screen thing. But yes, so we need to at least handle user input. So I think it's just get car, isn't it? But we need to set the terminal to raw mode first. And I can't remember off the top of my head how to do that. So I'm just going to grab the code from here. I might as well run rate actually. So rate this file that I'm pulling code from here. It's a program that doesn't run. Gosh, really? Yeah, okay, so I wonder if this is going to be pulling from mib_string. I might have changed mib_string since the last worked on this thing. Yeah, here we go. So basically what this is a it's a program that it takes user input and basically graphs above the text the speed at which the text was typed, more or less. And you can see that it handles like line wrapping as well, doesn't it? Yeah, so anyway, that's what this is, and it's doing it by, it's got to set the terminal to raw mode basically, rather than having it like like this. I mean, basically what what is it actually? It's like, I think when it's not in raw mode, it only submits this information to the program when you press enter, basically. So I sort of need to make it, well, at least I want to make it just give the key press straight through. So that looks like kind of promising. So we want to take this probably and that. So what do we call it? Original terminal attributes. Yeah, I mean, it just says it right there, doesn't it? And then restore terminal attributes. So this is going to be, I presume, just past this. So let's now just say get C into from standard in, isn't it? I suppose actually I could just handle something, couldn't I? Oh yeah, we also actually need to something like that, isn't it? No. Yeah, actually what we could do is we could say this. I think that should break out the while. Or to make sure that it will definitely break us out. Let's just say set a bool. While we're running, and key is equal to get C. How does this guy do it? While I'm running, read result. Yeah, I was wondering about -1 actually. So if we've got key 0. I suppose we could just do it this way actually, couldn't we? So while we're running, if this key is something, escape maybe. No, it wouldn't be that, would it? What is key exactly? That's just going to be an array of 8 cars. Let's just nick this anyway. So yeah, key 0 has got to be something. And then key 1 is presumably got to be, because key 1 will be the actual key. I think. Actually, hang on. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's quite a while since I did that actually. Did that program rate. So yeah, I kind of can't really remember what it's all banging on about. But let's just take it anyway. And what we're doing is we're saying this, aren't we? So yeah, while running, if key 0, let's just see if I can get to the bit where we could recognise a Q key. It's probably going to be this, isn't it? So what's a key press exactly? Yeah, we don't need all of that. Get string from car. Okay. I think that just means that we can say right here, if key 0, I think we can just say that, can't we? Yeah, that's good. So oh, I'll tell you what, actually. Yeah, so we're getting out of that thing by pressing Q. So that's nice. So this is a bit where we're going to have coordination between the threads going on. You know, this guy handles import and then it tells it to quit, basically. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I'm just sort of thinking about the steps, the next steps. I think we could do without the quitting case, actually. Oh, hang on. Yeah, while running. There must be some sleeping going on, mustn't there? Because otherwise this is just going to be... Yeah, because if I... Well, it's running now, isn't it? Yeah, it's running, boys. Yeah, it'd be running on CPU 1, won't it? Because that's now kind of locked up. Well, it's you know, it's do you call it busy looping or something? A 60th of a second. So a 60th is to make it run at 60 frames a sec, isn't it? I mean, there wouldn't be any harm in making it do that, would there? Minuend as subtrahend. Okie dokie. So now it's not running out of road. Okay. So all I'm going to do here is just a simple thing, is give myself a little buffer of like 8 characters. In fact, let me just have a look at this guy again. Get string from car. Okay, so it's turning the car into a string. We got a car. So if it's bigger than a space, all the way down to a tilde, okay, yeah, I guess I could do that. I think we've got all those keys. Yeah, one thing I'm interested in knowing actually, can you do this? Like if you do that, does that fill the input buffer with thingy? I'm going to just test this out actually. Okay. No, it doesn't fill it then. That's fine. Well, no, because sorry, yeah, that's going to then put a null terminator. Do we care about that? This is literally just a test thing. Okay, so the input buffer is input buffer. So filling it with spaces, and we're going to be saying, where is our input cursor? So the cursor is at 0. So each time we get a key, we're going to say to the input buffer at the input cursor equals, I think we just equal the key in it. Yeah, and I actually want to make this just wrap around, so we're saying yeah, gosh, how do you do this? I mean, that's interesting, isn't it? So if key 0, why did that? Hang on. No, it's not that. It's it's just 8. Yeah, that's more like it. Okay. Now, rather than printing it up there, another thing I want to do is to just say, yeah, I mean, I also, and there should be a way to do this more concisely, shouldn't there? Like, can't you just do this in I mean, obviously using the mod operator. Let's just have a quick look at this. We basically wanted to say if the numbers yeah, again, this isn't going to be, we're not using a mod operator here. It's kind of crazy how stuff just slips out of your memory, or you just can't sort of work stuff out when you don't really use it. So once it reaches 0, right, once it reaches 0, we want the number to reach equal 0. Yeah, so if the number mod with max is equal to 0, we also need to say if the number is not 0 itself. Because if it's 0, then it can't get off the blocks. Maybe you can't actually do this very concisely. Let's park it. Park it for now. It's not too important. We want to increase number by either 1 or -7. Unless if number is already 0. Yeah, I mean that tracks. Yeah, I mean that's all working correctly at least. Yeah. So rather than printing, actually what I want to do is move the cursor to the top of the window. So let's go back to rate to get the cursor moving code. Is it not actually really doing that? Yeah, it is this sort of thing, isn't it? Cursor movements is like this. So basically what I'm going to say is move to the top left corner. going to presume that's just this. I'm going to put like a little box as well. So row Y, column 0. So it kind of looks like this, doesn't it? Cool. So that's fine, that's good to do what it does. Yeah. I think I'd like to put the cursor at the end. So move the cursor to the end. What's this exactly? Resistor code. Yeah, I thought we'd need to get that screen height. Yeah, actually, you know what? This might not be that important to do, actually. Because all we were doing, yeah, is making like this printout look sensible after we've taken input from this. Because what's going to happen here is the cursor is just sitting here. Yeah, I mean, I suppose, strictly speaking, I could do it with probably clearing the whole line. Yeah, let's at least do that. Clear the line. Well, that didn't seem to do much, did it? Did it? Yeah, I mean, it's... I don't know why that's 1 exactly. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I don't really want to clear the whole screen though. I just want to clear a whole row. Oh, we just had set the max line limit to 80. Okay. Well, I mean, this isn't, as I say, it's not important to actually do that. All I'm sort of looking to do is to clear the whole line, basically. Let's leave it. Okay, we've got some kind of weird stuff happening. And then we've got the client. I mean, it would be nice, wouldn't it, to stick us at the bottom of the screen. I think we have that information, don't we? Which way around is this? Probably customer positioning. So we're going to 6 and 3. Row 6. So we want to be going to, yeah, so this value here. interesting. So you can tell it. You can tell it to put the cursor in a particular place immediately before printing. But it's not interested if you tell it to move to a particular place later on. Is that right? Okay, so that's just going to pile up, and the cursor's continuously positioned here. I'm going to press a key. Now the cursor is here. Now, I'm not sure where he's got that from actually. Is that this? Well, no, it's oh, I don't know. Oh, those numbers were from this. That's probably what we did. Oh, I think I understand actually what's going on here. It's printing out every time we come through. Isn't it? Well, maybe not actually, because we clear the key. Right, we'll just let it write it wherever we are. Oh. Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah, so we are only... Well, except for the fact it is actually continuously writing in the same place. How's he doing that exactly? Yeah. Ah. Well, that'll explain why that isn't working. There's some null happening there. I suppose I should check that string to int function, really. Yeah, although actually we did determine, didn't we, that that wasn't even working when we knew what we were sort of asking to do. So where's that null coming from exactly? 0h. Connected face function. Oh yeah, that string to win 8 rounds. Well, I mean, we did sort of just encounter natural string joins that we've previously written. Let's cheese out and let's just copy this over. Point to the 0 page. What on earth is going on here? Get end function search the environment list to find the environment variable name and returns a pointer to the corresponding value string. I mean, this is not getting us any closer to learning threading, is it? Well, look, how about, you can do set end vim as well, can't you? It's one of these again. POSIX source is greater than equal to okay, so that's correctly setting. Right, okay, so we need to use this, do we? So we're getting some nulls somewhere. Get end of lines, possible. Well, I just don't even know at this point. Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's that. So it doesn't think we're getting any lines apparently. In fact, that site probably had it. WS, yeah, that looks familiar. So the win size. Yeah, I guess this get seems to be unusual. I do want to do it in the wild as well. Now, do we have win size? WS road, WS call. So this is going to move us to the top corner, top left corner. And we should have a column count of the WS call. What do you think the WS call is? Okay. Okay, finally, this is kind of like clearing that. Now, can we say the number of rows? Yeah, again, this just wasn't working at all, was it? Yeah, basically I'd like it to be putting the cursor at the bottom. So there we've got a raised to end of line as this. So rather than this, can't I do yeah, that just does not work. Oh yeah, there's also save cursor position. Can try it. I think that's me, RxVT. Oh yeah, it could be partly because I'm in raw mode as well now, actually. Let's just see what it thinks window WS row is equal to. So that sounds reasonable to me. Oh, hang on. Yeah, rows is the number going down. Ah, it's only when you emit the new line. Oh. Could this be what I need to do? Yeah, dude. Gosh. Let's stick it at the far right as well. We don't usually want to stick things at the far right, but just today, just for this, we'll do it. Interesting. I mean, I'm expecting the cursor to be put over here. See a bit more clearly what's happening. If we just Oh, what's going on here? Gosh, is it? What's happened? So we're running threading mockup client. Something just got stuck there. I wonder. There you receive the instruction. See, that's interesting. I wonder if I can debug what's going on there. Just make the thing a bit bigger just for the moment. Okay, so we managed to initialize the connection at least. Are we getting stuck on the receive? I suppose we could try it from the other side, couldn't we? Also, let's just double check that it's not simply because of the input handling. Yeah, so we are successfully getting through here. This almost seems, doesn't it, like this nano sleep is applying to the entire program. Although it shouldn't, should it? I don't think. So there's me using that. Yeah. Interesting. I think this is probably worth investigating, this bit, because this is really something that we want to have working. Oh no, right, it's just died straight away. Okay, so that's kind of handy actually, because it means that we don't need to actually pass anything to this. So if we just CGDB this, so now the problem is I'm not exactly sure where this. Oh, do I know that it's up to here actually? Ah, there we go. I think this guy exited. Yeah, I'm not sure it's really going to be too enlightening to look at the assembly for me. Well, we seem to be in Futex abs timed wait, common 64. Let's just quit just a sec. Oh, and let's also not kick off the user interface thread. Oh, actually, 3D Mockup Client could do it. Yeah, this seems to be fine. It doesn't seem to be. Does not seem to be phased at all. Where's the A? What's going on here? Right. That was odd. Had I not built before running? Oh, there we go. We've got it failing. Okay, yeah, it does seem to be something to do with this user interface thread just preventing the reference manager thread from actually working. So yeah, it's waiting for a connection is what it's up to. And it's just sitting here accepting. This guy has tried to yeah, it's not that, it's the it's this file. So this will have tried to establish a connection. And it was hanging on this, wasn't it? Here. So the previous time through, it got the received instruction dump. I wonder if it could have anything to do with the different places that we're printing to. Nah, I think that would be a bit weird. So there should be send somewhere, shouldn't there? Oh, that's in version is known. Okay. It's either going to reject the instruction or it's going to accept the instruction. So if the remote version is greater than the local version, then we have to reject it because we can't handle it. So that's basically like if the server is an older version than the client's, you know, so you know, more versions of the interface has sort of been released, one of which has a change to an instruction, and a client has taken up the new version and is trying to send that instruction to a version of the server that doesn't have that version of the instruction, basically. Accept instruction. I could do with what can I do with doing, really? Oh, probably printing out, isn't it? Maybe where we're getting up to. Because it seemed difficult. Yeah, it seemed difficult to debug it in the debugger. So let's start with the .h. I have this. Where am I? I'm in Silken now, am I? Right, threading mockup. So, established connection is going to print the function. Where's this? Oh, this is ridiculous. file. Right. And where we're getting to, there should be a receive somewhere. Yeah, okay, so it's here. Right, we should receive and then close. Yeah, ready to receive acknowledgement. So that's on the thingamajig side, the client side. So let's pop over to the server side. I mean, really, we don't need to look in this because we know that they're all going to be accepted. So where's my handle connections? Shouldn't I be seeing some more stuff? Oh, and now we're building. Honestly, there's got to be a better way. I'm just letting us you know what I'm saying. Just stick in the files that I'm wanting to stick in, basically. Alright. So yeah, still waiting for a connection. So after the waiting for a connection, That is what that's talking about, isn't it? Yes, perfect. So we're failing here. So error number is set. So this is that thing, isn't it? Can I just... P error. Yeah. No, I don't think it's quite that, is it? Oh, actually, yeah. Yeah, it is this. I think it's kind of this, isn't it? Too many open files. Oh, interesting. It's going to be this fucker, isn't it? Yeah, the terminal's going to be the same. The only thing is that the window size might change each time through. Yeah, that's going to be the problem, isn't it? Yeah, now we're not getting any problems. Oh, that was good to get that, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I suppose still the only thing that's really remaining here is moving the cursor to the end of the row. that's interesting. There's H or F. Oh, that's what we want, isn't it? That's exactly... Oh no, it's not. Yeah, no, not quite. Excuse me. So this is what we had. Accept instruction. Didn't we... So this is our actual file. Did we somehow end up in a different file and build a different file? I reckon that's probably what happened. Okay, so we're back to where we were. So yeah, the only thing we don't have is getting to the end of that line. Let's just try a bit longer, just to get us to the end of this line. Just to move the cursor to the end of the line. I mean, we could try this. I'm not too optimistic about it. Oh, hold on. Shouldn't this have this sort of thing going on? Oh, now it's down to the top. That's odd. Yeah, I suppose it wouldn't do, would it? We're going to move to the first line. And then move us back to the thing. Yeah, but rather than doing that, the thing about the new line is that that's the thing that like makes the thing display. Okay, so that's where we want that. So cursor now sitting over there. And the thing that's putting us on the bottom row is this. Right, if we don't have this, I mean, you can sort of see that this is, the cursor is down here. If we do not have this line, then the cursor just sits around up here. Okay, so now put the cursor down there. What we want to happen, yeah, that was it. Save the cursor. Okay, we're going to try and save the cursor here. We don't need to output anything. Now, does this do anything for us? No, it absolutely doesn't. Does it? Because the cursor is here. We're supposedly saving it. Yeah, it does absolutely nothing. That's as expected, really. So cursor forwards. Sets the cursor position where subsequent text will begin. If no row column parameters are provided, the cursor moves to the home position at the upper left of the screen. And what was the F1? This is just identical to cursor home. If we just try this count C to move forwards, let's just try this. That's weird. Hang on. It sort of seems like you just can't move that goddamn cursor forwards. Well, fine. Let's leave it where it wants to be. And let's just reflect on what we've got so far. So we've got the ability to take a client instruction we've got the ability to take file system events, and we've got the ability to take user input. So there we go, we've got file system events, client instructions, and user input. We're not really outputting anything. Other than obviously the text to the screen. How much more cake push have we got? We've got 16 minutes. Yeah, okay, so I will call it a day when she finishes. But before that, I'm going to actually start to sort of talk about getting these things kind of coordinated. You know, introducing the idea of a thing that writes to the screen. Is that right? Or just even just talking about like which components are talking to each other. Or I suppose further to that, or before we even get there, I could sort of be thinking about the actual output. Is it just generally the output? Yeah, I mean the thing is this database. Okay, these two files will be basically the same file. So we're going to have at least some coordination between these two threads, or have a separate thread to do the actual reading and writing from that file. The HTML and CSS and metadata files I don't think should have anything to do with the reference manager. I do, however, think that Cinera will be wanting to send instructions to this person, but since they're both in the same program, we shouldn't need to send the instruction via a socket, should we? we should be able to just send it on like a job queue sort of a thing. Okay, so this is like the basic structure, but then for the coordinated threads, let's just think about a couple of things. So the instruction ingester is going to take obviously we're going to get kind of instruction from socket. Yeah, I mean, I suppose actually this is actually instruction ingester will be the actual job queue, I guess. Yeah, so our sources of instructions is going to be a source. Yeah, let's just say that sources of instructions. And like another thread, isn't it? Another primary socket, another thread. So when yeah, okay, so when one of the threads wants some information, it'll probably have to just be able to put some sort of a job onto a queue. when another program wants something, it will be communicating that to a socket. Well, I suppose he just writes instruction to a socket. And then having written to the socket, somebody would need to read from that socket and push onto the job queue, isn't it? Which is probably going to be the instruction ingester. So yeah, okay, this is looking a bit more, I'm getting a bit of a sense now. So the instruction ingester is going to be taking an instruction via a socket. Okay. And it's going to output a job onto job queue. Yeah, maybe, so the threads themselves, I guess they could just push their own job onto the queue. Yeah, I don't see why not. So then, once we've got this queue, it's like the sort of job manager, I don't know. This will send it to the various thread that needs to do the work. Yeah, I suppose another way of putting it, actually. So we're going to have this kind of thing, which is a job queue, aren't we? And there's going to be two sources of stuff. It's going to be threads, and the ingester. Okay, and then the job queue. Hang on, we're going to have two kind of things right next to each other. This job queue and then the job manager. I mean, we could sort of do this, couldn't we? It's always kind of awkward writing these sorts of things out. It's not quite sure like how would be a reasonably efficient way of doing it. So we've got threads writing onto the job queue, we've got an instruction ingester writing onto the job queue, and the instruction ingester takes instructions via a socket. And then the job queue itself then has a job manager passing jobs to the thread responsible for the work. Which kind of that, isn't it, I suppose. But I had promised that once Kate had finished, I would also finish. Kate has finished. So I'm going to finish. And we'll pick this up probably tomorrow, when we'll be we'll be dealing more about coordinating our threads. Yeah, we're going to need a sort of a compositor sort of a thing for the thing that writes out the information to the screen, and we're probably going to have somebody who's responsible for writing out to the database file. I mean, I suppose another step actually we could do before we move on to the coordination is to actually just write out like a database file. Or will we need coordination for that? Yeah, we probably will actually already need coordination straight away to do the database file. And something I thought about for the database file is that for the mock-up, it could just be something like, you know, it could just like say what a file's name is. It could just store like a file name and a size of the file. And what was the other thing? The other thing is instruction, isn't it? So when it receives an instruction, so you're done with instruction. That would be, what would that be? The program driver socket. Yeah, that could be. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what we could have for that, but for this one, we could sort of say that the contents of this could be put into the database. You know, so you just fill the buffer up, and then once you press enter, it would just send it into the database. So yeah, we could have that sort of a thing as the things that need to be written to the database. Again, this is just mocking up, so it doesn't really need to be particularly useful. But yeah, anyway, as I say, Kate's finished, so I am as well, and I will thank you very much for tuning in and watching, and see you in the next one. So farewell for now.